Hi everyone, my name is Lou Corona, and by now you probably have maybe watched a short little trailer on a little introduction to what this is all about, bringing you to the four principles. So by now you may be feeling like, okay, I want to know what these four principles are. And so this is where I want to cover the names of them and maybe cover their attributes, and then from there we'll create training modules on how to actually apply them and put them into practice. Because it seems like they're so simple and everybody could just easily know it, but to understand them and really implement them and put them into practice is another thing. So first of all, I want to cover my story just a little deeper than before. I was born in 1951. This is 2015 now, and I'm 63. I'm turning 64 in a few months from now. And I am absolutely grateful, just very grateful, and I really appreciate having this opportunity to share a short dissertation on the four principles and the whole enzyme concept that I've acquired for many years now. And so, again, being raised on a very conventional lifestyle, my first 21 years of my life, raised in Orange County, California, I pretty much did what most people do. I did get heavily bullied in school my first 10 years of life, so I had a lot of hardship with that. But anyway, when I got into a teenager, I did get into a lot of fast foods as well as conventional lifestyle, and I pretty much ate like most people eat today, and thought like most people, and I judged, I criticized, I made fun of people, people made fun of me. That's just the way it was. Anyhow, when I was 21 years of age, by that time I was in the Air Force. I went through boot camp with flying colors, and it was seeming like everything seemed to be okay. But after boot camp, by that time I was a jet engine mechanic, going through school to be that, and I started developing some digestive issues. So instead of going to the bathroom a couple of times a day, I started going to the bathroom every other day, and every 3 days, once a week, and thereafter. I became chronically constipated, and it was very, very serious and very uncomfortable, and I would say gnarly, and woke up with a lot of pain many times. So I began to really suffer with this whole digestive issues that I had. But after that, I started becoming very toxic, and I started developing like acne all over my face. I had pimples all over my face, allergies, breaking out with hives. These are toxins coming out. Rash, I had some rash. I had a lot of itching going on, and I felt pretty miserable. And then after that, I ended up with a big tumor behind my head here. I was facing surgery because of it, and then after that, I ended up with chronic asthma. Never had any of these things before. And then I ended up taking a lot of medications for them to breathe. Where before I could run a mile in 4.5 minutes, I could do 4 minutes underwater, run 30 miles nonstop. So I was really healthy and powerful before. So it was really kind of like a bit debilitating for me. And I was also bewildered because I was a little bit confused, like, why am I having all these things happening to me? And also I came down with arthritis. I had pain in my joints, and it wasn't like I couldn't walk, but I just had pain in my joints. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm only 21 years of age, and I'm suffering with all these different things. They're all climbing up upon me, and I'm a bit confused because I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't take drugs. I ate 3 meals a day. I worked out, did whatever's required of me, and I worked hard, and a good person, and here I'm suffering with all these different things. So anyway, one day, after months of asking all these doctors what was causing all these different things, none of them really knew what was causing these things, and that's why when I turned and put my hands together and was so humbled by this experience. But when I put my hands together and prayed about it and asked for guidance, I was led and made a personal choice to walk away from the surgery and all the medication I was taking. I took a leap of faith, and I put all my trust. And that night I woke up with a chronic asthma attack. I suffocated, and I was suffering, and I thought I was going to go any second. And basically I said, if I go, I go. I'll serve in spirit, and if I live, then I will serve here, as long as I'm here, and share whatever I learned from this experience. And so it went from there. And this is when I had this near-death experience. And this is when I learned what I call now the 4 principles to holistic health for many years. And I took them on, I did them, I applied them, and within 6 months, everything went away. Never came back, and that was 42 years ago. So, ever since then, I've been well, been doing great. 74, when I got out of the Air Force, I went on to pass it forward, and I've been doing it ever since. And ever since 42 years now, I've been on a quest to take this 4 principles and all the things I've learned and pass it forward and make it available to the world. So here we are. And so, and thankfully, and recently, not all that long ago, I was able to be blessed to form a company called Paradigm and be able to make it available to the world as well. And that has its vision to, we have a vision to create a paradigm shift in consciousness in how people live today. So Paradigm's all about that. It's creating that paradigm shift, and also provide tools and support and resources to help people cross over to this powerful lifestyle that I've acquired and been doing my best to live by over many years now. So the four principles I want to share with you is related to cellular communications. One, cellular communication is really, really powerful. How you communicate with your body, observing your breath as an example, helps you to connect and stay in touch with your body. So when the body calls for water, then you give it some water. It didn't say Kool-Aid and soda and coffee and other beverages that are destructive to your health. So when the body wants something sweet, you may go grab an apple or a peach or a mango. It didn't say Twinkies and pastries, you know what I mean? Or processed refined white sugar. I don't consume those things anymore like I used to. But I'm just trying to say that with the more we get in touch, more sensitive we become, you're going to gravitate to the things that are more wholesome to the body. The cellular environment's the next principle I want to discuss, and that's integrating the elements. This is where you learn to embrace the sun in a powerful way. You learn to breathe in a really amazing, powerful way that can oxygenate you, detoxify you, energize you. You learn to drink some good water that can actually, hydrate you, flush, regulate you, and keep you supple, and keep you healthy. At the same time, it energizes the cells. It detoxifies the cells, replenishes the cells, and keep them healthy and supple. And also, you'll learn how to ground yourself in the process. So when you learn how to ground yourself by different methods you can learn, it will help ground you and give you a lot more energy than you've ever had. Cellular exercise basically means that you're oscillating every cell in your body. You're stimulating the lymphatic system, which is part of your immune system, and you're doing this, through different methods. One of them could be breath work, rebounding, vigorous dancing, things like stretching. But when you do 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, it will change your whole life. Because everybody who suffers with sicknesses or diseases, they're all lacking oxygen for one, and they're all dehydrated, and they all have a sluggish lymphatic system. And their cells are basically toxic, and their blood is like sludge. And we need to clean, detoxify the blood, and keep the blood clean, and keep all the cells clean and healthy. So what you do is you stimulate the lymph. And so, see, the lymphatic system is part of the immune system, and it has the ability to pull and draw waste byproducts, toxins, out of the bloodstream through a fine membrane into the lymph system and process these toxins, waste byproduct, however, out of the body through 4 eliminative organs. And that is your bowels through defecation, your kidneys through urination, your skin through perspiration, and also through the lungs through respiration. So it's a very powerful concept, and you want to incorporate that. The fourth principle, it's about cellular nutrition. And cellular nutrition is about feeding your body on a cellular level, knowing how to take your food and break it down into micronutrients so that way you pre-digest it in the stomach so it can be absorbed into the system through these little villi that are in the inner wall of the intestinal tract, so it can absorb these micronutrients and take it into the blood, into the cells, and feed your body from a cellular perspective. So knowing how to break down your food, the proteins, into amino acids that build muscle, hair, skin, and bones, and breaking down carbohydrates into glucose to give you lots of energy, and break down fats into fatty acids. So when you're actually digesting, absorbing like that, and then metabolizing and converting your food into energy, muscle, hair, skin, and bones, and running efficient, and then so you're burning your fuel that you take into your body, but at the same time allow you to eliminate the waste and run clean and efficient. This is a real key factor that we want to consider. That's why I want to talk to you a little bit about something that most people don't understand or haven't acquired their understanding yet, and that's the power of enzymes. Because you see, years and years ago, 42 years ago, when I learned how to live on organic plant-based lifestyle, all raw, all living, enzyme-rich foods. So I ate fresh fruits and vegetables, herbs in a natural state, just the way it comes from nature, just the way the animals eat it. You know, except I learned how to make it in different ways by juicing or blending or, you know, cutting it up and making different things. But I also learned how to take seeds and nuts, how to soak them, how to germinate them, how to activate them, and I also learned how to culturize to give them more enzyme activation, help pre-digest them beforehand. You can make incredible smoothies, dressings, soups, dips, natural raw gourmet ice cream that will astound you and amaze you how satisfying it all is. But as I learned to do these things, within 6 months I recovered from all this tumor and acne and asthma, all these conditions went away. And it's going on with everybody else that applies this knowledge. And it's been really incredible and amazing. So also I want to just talk a little bit about enzymes in the sense that enzymes are protein molecules. The electricity runs through them. They're catalysts. Enzymes allow you to break down your foods into micronutrients. So the question is, when you're eating cooked food, it's been discovered. There's hundreds of books now, you know, like that validates what I'm about to say to you. But every time you eat cooked food, there is no enzyme activity in cooked food. You see, when there's no enzymes in soil, plants will not grow. So if you eat cooked food, if you continue eating cooked food, you need to know from now on, scientifically, it's already been proven, documented, that cooked food, the enzymes are destroyed during the cooking process. Yes, there's still proteins, carbs, and fats, and vitamins and minerals in cooked food, but not the enzymes. And the enzymes is a life force within your food. Enzymes, remember, are protein molecules with electricity running through them. This living force within that food is vital to you. When you eat cooked food and it goes in your body will sacrifice and use more of its own enzymes to digest that cooked food more than you remanufacture within the body. And that will cause the body to become enzyme depleted in given time. Some people are born with more enzyme potential than others, so it determines on when it might affect you. In my case, I used up my enzyme potential by the time I was 20. I started breaking down, I started crashing. By the time I was 21, I was at my deathbed. There's some people who hits them at 5 or 10 or 25 or 30 or 50 years of age, whatever. But I'm just saying, know this from now on. There's absolutely the truth when I say this, and it's already been validated and scientifically proven, documented heavily. You eat cooked food, your body has to use more of its own enzymes to digest it, because it takes enzymes to break it down and digest it into micronutrients before you can actually use it. Proteins, carbs, and fats don't do you any good unless you break it down into these micronutrients first. And you want to pre-digest your food in the stomach before it goes in the intestinal tract, the small intestinal tract that's over 20 feet long inside you. And so that is really vitally important to you. And this is what's not happening with most people, because most people have been eating cooked foods for years, and they've been stripping, robbing, sacrificing their enzyme potential, their life force, more than they're making, and they become enzyme deficient. So the sooner that you become enzyme deficient, then what happens, you end up with a partial digestion. That means some of your proteins, carbs, and fats are getting digested, and some of them aren't. And the thing is that you start accumulating undigested proteins, carbs, and fats in your system. Therefore, they putrefy, ferment, and acidify in the body. And when that happens, it attracts parasites, bacteria, yeast, fungus, and all that. And when you attract these little critters, they live on this waste that I'm talking about. They live on that environment. And when they live on that environment, they multiply, proliferate within your body. And they also excrete waste byproduct out of their little bodies into your body. And their waste that releases from their little bodies into your body are very toxic, very poisonous, very smelly, and it leads to sicknesses and diseases and infections and so on. These are things that most people need to understand, because that's the truth. Toxemia, heavy metals, chemicals, parasites, viruses, bacteria, yeast, these little, and all this undigested waste in the system becomes very toxic to your body, including toxic thinking and toxic emotions. But this is what distorts us, and this is what causes illnesses in the body. So in solution, I want to offer you a little demonstration so you can kind of get an idea what I'm talking about. This is cooked food. Right now, we're just using oatmeal cereal to demo, but you notice how it's pretty sticky, pretty gooey right now, right? And so every time you cook food, whether it's cereal, no matter what it is, if it's cooked, the bottom line is you're going to have to use more of your enzymes to digest it. So many, many years ago, a wonderful doctor, Dr. Edward Howell, medical doctor scientist, have great respect for him and appreciation for his 50 years of research, because it made it easier for us to understand how life works, how the body works. But he is one of those kind of people that thought out of the box, and he went all over the world for 50 years researching the longest living people in the world. And he discovered that these people that are living 120 plus years, never getting sick and having these great lives, they ate enzyme-rich food. And he discovered that enzymes was a missing link to health and longevity. So I really appreciate him a lot for what he did, because he did a lot of urine analysis on people, and he discovered what enzyme does what, when you're deficient on this particular enzyme, how it leads to one condition or the other, things like that. So he took all his patients and put them on raw living enzyme-rich foods, fresh juices and all, and eventually their diseases went away. And it was a really powerful experience for him to experience that, as well as for the people. But anyway, when these people went home, they went back to their old habits. And so they went back to eating cooked food, processed food, and what have you. And over months and time, their diseases came back. So Dr. Howell is one of the pioneers in enzymes and enzyme research and enzyme therapy. And we have a great deal of respect for him. So I'm going to take this little enzyme here. These are plant enzymes. They learned back then how to extract enzymes from plants, how to concentrate them into a little capsule. So these particular ones are Lyfzyme, and you can get it through Pyridine. These are the highest quality that we've been able to put together through years and years of research. They're broad spectrum, they're highly active enzymes, no fillers, and we're using whole food cofactors. These are superior multiple digestive enzymes. So when you watch this in action, you'll see what I'm talking about. So we want to use this to put the life back into the food. That's why we call them Lyfzymes. L-I-Y-F, it's an acronym. It means life in your food. So you can see I just put the enzyme in there, these multiple digestive enzymes. And as I mix the enzymes and the oatmeal together, these enzymes are going to activate. Once they activate, it's going to start breaking down the proteins into amino acids, fats into fatty acids, and carbohydrates into glucose. And the idea is to take a few of these right before you eat, so the enzymes can mix with your food, put the life back into your food. Because when we cook food, the enzymes are destroyed through heat. On 105 degrees, they start dying. 118, they're pretty much gone after that. So, and you can see that just in a very short time, the oatmeal broke down, liquefied. And so what you're seeing here is basically the enzymes that we put back into the food kind of thing. Remember, lifetime, you take it with meals. You take it right before you eat. People usually take around 4 or 5 with each meal. I've been taking a little more than that, personally, for years. I really enjoy the benefits of the enzymes, because the enzymes allow you to put the life back into your food. So if you're eating cooked food, good idea to take some powerful enzymes to help you digest your food better. Pre-digest it in the stomach like you're supposed to. So that way, when it goes into your intestinal tract, it's ready for further digestion. Then your pancreas can just aid in the digestive process and take it into the system and feed you. And at the same time, absorb, metabolize, and eliminate and run efficient. That's the idea. This is not a stimulant. This is something that actually breaks down your food into micronutrients. So you can get all the amino acids, fatty acids, and glucose that you need to carry the minerals into the body and activate, produce metabolic enzymes and hormones. Because you have 3 classes of enzymes. You've got food enzymes, you've got digestive enzymes from your pancreas, and you also have metabolic enzymes. And they're all very important to us. We were never designed to destroy the life force within our food before we ate it. That's something we learned years ago, many, many years ago. By nature, it's best for us to eat fresh foods. So when I say that, I mean that if we eat fresh fruits and vegetables and herbs, and eat seeds and nuts that we soak and germinate and enzyme activate, all the better. You can live that life and do it over and over and over for many years to come. And because I've been doing it 42 years and I'm still here. People always kind of question me a little bit about the vegetarian vegan lifestyle. But the majority of people that are in the world that are vegetarian, they eat cooked processed food, and it's not the best way, based on my experience and based on what I know. Most people, when they go to the bathroom, they sit there, they wait, they wonder, they pray, they hope, to try to go to the bathroom. And then when they do go to the bathroom, and when they leave that bathroom, the people who really suffer are the people that go in that bathroom after that person just left. Those are the people that say, oh my goodness, what just died in here, And I remember those days. I remember those moments, how it was for me too. I remember going through school and, being at home with brothers and sisters and parents and all that. Everybody that went to the bathroom, the odor was so foul, we avoided to go in the bathroom after somebody left. And we just made comments and joked around it and all that kind of thing. But, really, that's not the way it was meant to be. I'm just saying that in truth, because when I learned to live this way, I've been running more cleaner, more efficient, and so going to the bathroom, all that changed. So because we struggle and become so enzyme deficient, we need to do something to compensate. Now the reason I still take enzymes, even though I'm eating all organic, raw living foods, enzyme-rich foods, organic, plant-based, the whole thing, the reason I take them is because in North America, our organic foods, organic soil is running 30 to 80% enzyme and mineral deficiencies. And that's true. It's real. These farmers all over are doing their best, but they tell me themselves, and I've done some research. If you do your homework, you'll find out the same thing. Our food, our organic food, is enzyme deficient, 30 to 80% plus enzyme deficiencies in different parts of the country. That's why I take enzymes even when I eat food myself, and to help put more life into my food to maximize digestion, so I can absorb, metabolize, utilize, and eliminate, run more efficient, and maintain what they call cellular integrity. So in solution, what I'm going to say to you is learn the 4 principles, live by the 4 principles. If you do that in itself, it's going to transform your life for the better. If you want to do something to maybe enhance, or you might say compensate for the enzyme deficiency in your food, maybe because it's cooked, or maybe because it comes from enzyme deficient soil. Like in my case, I eat all raw living foods, cultured foods, plant-based, organic myself, vegan. I don't use any animal products at all, just live a very simple, natural lifestyle. And I've been doing that for many, many years. And it's been working quite nicely. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I feel great. I am 63, and even though I only do about 20 minutes of stretching and deep breathing and rebounding, simple cellular type exercising, but for now working out at the gym for 45 years since high school, look, I'm going to show you something, and then you just look and you try to do it yourself and see what happens. But what you're going to see here is cellular integrity in action. When you have cellular integrity, you have core energy. And when you have core energy, you can easily do things like this and swim across lakes, hike mountains, and do all kinds of things. And feel, more importantly, feel great. Because that means all your cells are working together and they're all in peace and in harmony with each other. My record's 7 minutes. These are not just any enzymes from some grocery store or some health food store. These are high-end, the highest quality there is out there, and the most affordable price than ever. So it's very important that if you're going to take an enzyme, you want to take a high-quality, broad spectrum, highly active, no fillers, and using whole food cofactors. Study your enzyme, do your research, and this is why out of the whole team that we've come together through Paradigm to create this, to make it available to the world at our best, so you can have the results you're looking for. Is I want to talk a little bit about probiotics, because probiotics, the ones I like to use personally, is Life Biotic. Because I use Life Biotic because Life Biotic is a very powerful probiotic. L-I-Y-F, life in your food once again. But these friendly bacteria are got 5 bacterial strains, work very synergistically together in a very powerful way. They're highly proteolytic, and it actually breaks down proteins to amino acids. So it also takes putrefied protein in the system and gobbles it up. So it not only keeps your intestinal tract clean and healthy, and helps to reestablish and maintain what they call healthy intestinal flora, which is vital to us. We need to have plenty of enzymes within our food and within our systems. Yes, because we want to be able to digest our food at best, so we can manufacture metabolic enzymes that run all your cells in your body, take care of the wear and tear of your cells. So we can actually manufacture digestive enzymes as well, and build muscle, hair, skin, and bones, and maintain cellular integrity. That's why I did that little thing off the table for you, so you can see that the integrity is there. There's enough cellular integrity going on where I can easily do things that most people have a hard time even doing a little bit like that. But what I use the Life Biotic for, I like to take a little spoonful at night before I go to bed with a little water, swish it and swallow it. It's fantastic for you. But another thing I like to do, I like to take a teaspoon and put it in the blender with pre-soaked seeds with a coconut, the meat in the water, blend it up into a cream, let it sit for about 6 hours, room temperature, and it turns into like yogurt, like seed nut yogurt. My favorite one to this day is still sprouted almond coconut yogurt. I love that one. It's really great. I make incredible smoothies, dressings, soups, dips, natural raw gourmet ice cream with it. It's just amazing what you can do with these things. But what I like about it is that by culturizing your seeds and nuts, it makes them not only enzyme activated, but the friendly bacterial count goes up. So you maintain good, healthy intestinal flora. And that means when your flora is nice and high like that, you digest good, you assimilate good, you absorb, you metabolize well, you eliminate well, you run efficient. And that's a key. That's a major key from a physical perspective. So in summary, I'd like to just say this. Love this life and appreciate this life, respect it and honor it at the highest level, and consider your life as a gift, as a blessing, because you are. And know that you really are brilliant and ingenious and have tremendous potential lying within you, within all of us. We all have this. And incorporate the 4 principles. Tap into the elements. Tap into cellular exercise. Take raw living foods at your best. If you're still eating cooked food and you're working your way out of that type of scenario, do something to compensate for that for yourself. It would be best at your best interest. And you might consider Lysozyme with your meals, and maybe Life Biotic at nighttime before you go to bed. If you can learn how to make that yogurt, learn how to do that. Learn about the training modules that allow you to learn how to tap into, how to apply the 4 principles on a deeper level. learn all the recipes that we're putting on there. We're adding more recipes all the time on the website for you. And learn how to do the breath work. Learn how to do detox bathing. How to tap into these things, because as you learn these things, it'll allow you to cleanse and heal and regenerate yourself and allow you to have healthy cells once again. And that way you can live in a state of peace and harmony in a very blissful way, you might say. I mean, it's just an incredible how life can be right here on the planet. Heaven can be right here on earth if you can just learn these things and learn to incorporate it, balance it into your life at your very, very best. And know that I say these things out of love for each one of you, because I love every single one of you, every single person on this planet. That's why I'm doing this, so that you can have access to it. And for those of you that are inspired by it, motivated by it, willing enough to take responsibility for your life and take these things on, you're going to have a great life. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for my life and all the wonderful things I've been doing all these years. And I'm just in a state of gratitude. I'm so grateful to be here, so grateful to have this opportunity to share these things with you. May it make sense to you. May you be inspired by it and shift and take it on to the next level. I'll see you there. See you at the top. Love you. Take care.